Hi, I'm Elliot. I'm the author and creator of the World of Aeternitas. Welcome back to episode 2 of the world building series. If you haven't already, make sure to check out episode 1 to get a glimpse of what everything's all about. Now, without further ado, let us begin. The foundational premise of the World of Aeternitas is that humanity, in their world, knows how to control the 4 classical elements: fire, water, earth, and air, and their atomic constituents. Everything, including civilizational development, empires, wars, politics, and even economics, derive from this ultimate foundation. So, it's nothing short of awesome to think how much potential this foundation promises for the course of their history and the characters we'll get to meet. And in fact, this is what we're going to find out. Welcome to episode 2, the story of the elements and the founders. Let's dive into the timeline of the world. Our story stretches from the present date, 1883 AP, to some 8,000 years ago in the ancestral memory when humanity were still hunter-gatherers. Back then, in the time before the elements, the world was still in an ice age. Humanity, haunted by gigafauna and battered by weather hostile to human life, clung to an anemic existence, scavenging for scraps at the mercy of nature. But all of this changed when the first founder arose, the founder of fire. Sunna, the founder of fire, was but a mother protecting her 2 sons altogether stranded in the desolate winter cold before civilization arose. When she ascended to light the world, she ended the great age of ice that once gripped their earth. Then came Anasus, the founder of water, the philosopher king who wanted his people never again to suffer from the cruelty of hunger. He created the art of agriculture and dug titanic canyons and canals across the earth with torrents of water to facilitate it. Next came Terra and Sarah, the sibling founders of Earth, who pacified the continents when they threatened to split. Terra became one with the Earth, and Sarah one with the world. Both gave us the written word in the form of the ancient cuneiform. Finally, there arose Artaia, the founder of air, who wanted to become the guardian of the world and refuge to the huddled and ostracized peoples of various civilizations. She pierced the heavens in giving life to others. Medicine is her legacy. In the span of some 1,000 years, humanity went from hunter-gatherers huddled in the desolate cold to the absolute arbiters of civilization. No longer did they bow to wild animals or to the whims of nature. With this unprecedented status, humanity prospered. Great nation-states and empires arose from one end of the supercontinent to the other, and great advances in culture, technology, and human welfare came about. They raised great monuments that absolutely dwarfed the scale of those in our world. The ziggurats of their world were as tall as the snow-capped mountains themselves. The populations of their world numbering in billions as well. And amongst this prospering world, the elements and their philosophies began to take concrete shape. Each elemental art came to embody a certain philosophy to life and represented the personalities of those who learned its principles. Those who were born with the power of fire as their first element were passionate and energetic and used their strength to champion for the liberty of others. Those gifted the power of water were insightful and resourceful and used their skills to create new enterprises and devise new laws. Those given the power of earth were creative and resolute and used the genius of their minds to construct monuments, cities, and investigate the natural world. And those gifted the power of air were empathetic and idealistic and used their diplomacy to bring the world together and extend their hand to those who needed them. Mastering all 4 elements meant not just complete mastery over nature, but mastery over all the virtues that a human being could have. And so, to this day, some 8,000 years later, mastering all 4 elements garners a person with great praise. With humanity gifted with good fortune, the only way that it could fall now was if it waged war upon itself, and that it did. Imagine what stories await us. Imagine yourself in the presence of these mythical founders. What element do you think you would wield in the World of Aeternitas? Comment below and see you in the next episode. If you'd like to know more and see more, make sure to subscribe. If you'd like to get to know more about the world before it comes out, check out Aeternitas on Steam for additional hints about the world.